Can you hear me? We're all extremely fortunate. But I can speak from my personal heart. This was my desire for last few years that we could invite His Grace Gauranga Darsan Prabhu. And somehow Krishna has fulfilled that desire. And I'm sure it's so pleasing to so many of you. So many of you are also waiting. And I have an honor to welcome him to New Jersey, first time in his travels to US. This is first time he's traveling to US. Gauranga Darsan Prabhu, I was trying to read something on his website, Facebook. It's a long, it's almost 2 pages of biography. What he has accomplished, how he has served Srila Prabhupada's mission in last 13 years in short span of time. Authored more than 30 books, 34, 35 books. Some of you will be able to see those books outside as a sample. Many accomplishments. It's taking care of so many services in Govardhan Eco Village. But I'll stay a little personal that how he has touched actually thousands of hearts all over the world now by speaking, especially during COVID time. I know I was going through some emotional turmoil, and many of us. And when he started speaking Bhagavad Parva series, it was 99, I believe, videos. Every day I used to hear, and that was my, you can say from my heart, that was my solace, personal solace, to just hear Bhagavatam in a very practical, very living ways from core of his heart for the audience. And then the Bhakti Shastri courses and Bhakti Vaibhav courses. What's unique is him, I admire so much that he followed in the footsteps of His Grace Burijan Prabhu. How many of you know His Grace Burijan Prabhu? He is saint in our ISKCON. That who has actually took the essence of Srila Prabhupada's books, especially Srimad Bhagavatam, and wrote study guides on Srimad Bhagavatam, wrote study guides on Bhagavad Gita. But he's obviously now a bit aged, and so Gauranga Darsan Prabhu took that lead and wrote the study guides, Subodhini books. Many of you have seen and studied. Taking advantage of. They are outside also on the table. Those are my copies. Please don't take any. It took me a lot of effort to get them, but I just brought all of them here for your sake, so you can see his contribution in education of ISKCON. And I have the order form you can fill out, and if you want 5, 10, 1500, we can get, no problem. But fill out that form. So by writing those books, it's a big game changer in ISKCON world. Because when you see 12 cantos, 18 books, 18 volumes, right? 12 cantos, sometimes you become very enamored by so much text, and these are big books, and you don't even start, you freeze, right? We say many of our books are on the shelves, but we don't get to study. But he is making those Srila Prabhupada's books very, very relevant. After seeing his study guides, you want to go to Prabhupada's books and read the purports in great details. So I think that contribution from Prabhuji is unparalleled in our Gaudiya Varga. So we really thankful to His Grace Gauranga Darshan Prabhu for taking their steps. There's so many other things we can talk, but I don't want to take so much time. We'll give to Gauranga Darshan Prabhu to lead us. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Welcome to New Jersey.
Hare. जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदनंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यशोदनंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यशोदनंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरवनचारी यमुना तीरवनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय राधा श्याम सुंदर राधा श्याम सुंदर राधे जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्रीमद इस डिवाइन ग्रेस अभय चरणारविंद भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय। ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्रीमद हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर प्रभुपाद की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की नामाचार्य श्रील हरिदास ठाकुर की प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की ब्रजभूमि श्री वृंदावन धाम की पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र श्री जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की गंगमई की यमुनमई की भक्ति देवी की तुलसी देवी की कलयुग पावन हरिनाम संकीर्तन की हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की all glories to the assembled devotees all glories to the assembled devotees All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Gnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guroh Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin iti namini Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Desatarini Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. I offer my respectful obeisances to all the devotees at ISKCON, New Jersey, for assembling here this evening and blessing me with your association. And I'm very grateful to His Grace Devakinandan Prabhu, who showered his fatherly love and affection upon me, encouraging me, appreciating me, and blessing me in various ways. His words that come from his heart, encouraging little humble efforts, are like a father patting the back of the son. And I am really relishing that affection. Thank you so much, Prabhu. And he said so many things before Jayarada Madhav. So, although I don't deserve so much of such appreciation, but I humbly transfer it to my spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada, and ultimately Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Sri Krishna. And it is only by their blessings and empowerment that we are able to do anything that we are doing. So I am fortunate to receive such blessings and good wishes of so many sincere devotees, and their blessings are my strength in my humble attempts to practice devotional service and spread Krishna consciousness. It's all the Lord's mercy. If a crow takes some peacock feathers and puts in its tail and says, see, I'm looking so beautiful, take a selfie with me, the crow will only make fun of itself, right? Similarly, whatever skills or talents we have, whatever accomplishments or achievements that we get are not our accomplishments, not our achievements. It's Krishna who is using us as a tool in his hands. Okay. As Krishna spoke to Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita, Tasmat tvamuttishta yasho labhasva. You get up, fight, and win glory, win fame, right? Hitva shatrun bhungshvarajyam samriddham. You conquer your enemies and you enjoy a prosperous kingdom. Bhungshvarajyam samriddham. Mayaivaite nihataha purvameva. By me, all these warriors in front of you have already been killed. Mayaivaite nihataha purvameva. I have killed them, all of them. Then Arjuna says, if I have killed them, why are you asking me to fight? Isn't it redundant? Why should I fight if I already killed them? Bhishma, Drona, Bhishmam cha, Dronam cha, Jayadratham cha. And not only Krishna said this, Krishna displayed this also. Krishna displayed his gigantic Kala Rupa. You know Kala Rupa? The form of time. He had hundreds and thousands of faces, and from the mouths of those faces, fire is emanating, and several warriors of Kurukshetra are entering into those fires. And Arjuna saw it. Oh, Bhishma is entering, Karna is entering, Duryodhan, Dushasan, Karna, Sekuni, all these enemies are entering into the mouths of Vishwarupa, Kala Rupa. Means Krishna has already killed them. So Krishna displayed it visually and he said it verbally. Then what is Arjuna's role here? Nimitta matram bhava savya sachin. You become nimitta matra. You become an instrument in my hand. When somebody takes a pen and does a signature, who did the signature? The pen, right? The person did the signature. Pen is a tool in the person's hands. Similarly, if Krishna wants to do something, he will use some of us as instruments. We need to be instrument conscious, not accomplishment conscious. Anyways, I'm very grateful to be an instrument in the hands of our glorious parampara and to get an opportunity to render some service to Guru, Krishna and Vaishnavas. And I'm grateful for all the blessings that I'm receiving. Thank you very much. And I offer my respectful obeisances to all the other Vaishnavas who have assembled here. I was asked to speak on building relationships. We'll discuss. Very important topic, isn't it? Very, very important topic. 2 days, same topic, right? That's good. We'll get a little more time to discuss on it. So I'll discuss a few pointers today and tomorrow we'll elaborate more. It's 7:53 now, Prabhu. When should we end? Please let me know. 9 o'clock, fine. We have a little more than an hour to discuss on this topic. So relationships. Why relationships are important? Can't we practice bhakti on our own? We can practice bhakti, right? We can chant Hare Krishna, we can do Sravanam, we can do Kirtanam, we can do Archanam. Why there is a special emphasis on maintaining good relationships with other devotees while practicing devotional service? There are hundreds of reasons. Some reasons we'll discuss in the next 1 hour. But before even entering into the nitty-gritties of what are the key factors to maintain good friendships and relationships with other Vaishnavas, let me just discuss the identity of Krishna and how Krishna relishes relationships. Who is Krishna? The Supreme Personality of Godhead. He said that in Bhagavad Gita several times. He said, Mattaha parataram nanyat kinchidasti dhananjaya Mayi sarvamidam protam sutre vadigana iva. There is no one superior to me. Whatever you see in the entire creation is existing there only because I am keeping it there with my energy. When you compare all the elements of the universe as pearls, Krishna is that string that is keeping all the pearls together. If that string is not there, you see this Kanthimala? So in this Kanthimala, you see this garland? Okay. In this garland, there are so many flowers, white flowers, pink flowers, yellow flowers. There is green flowers also here. So all these are staying together in this beautiful pattern because the string is there. And Krishna is that string. Okay, without Krishna, nothing in this universe can exist, isn't it? So Krishna established his supremacy. I am the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And further, Krishna said, Aham sarvasya prabhavo mattaha sarvam pravartate. Everything is emanating from me. I am the source of everything. I am the supreme, and I am the supreme source, supreme origin of everything. Aham adir hi devanam maharshinam cha sarvashaha. I am the Adi, origin of everything. Like that, Krishna established supremacy in 100 different ways. Now, in a beautiful scripture called Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, written by Rupa Goswami. Right in the first shloka, Rupa Goswami says, Akhila Rasamrita Murti Prashramara Ruchi Ruddha Taraka Pali Kalita Shyama Lalito Radha Prayan Vidhurjayati. He describes Krishna not as the Supreme Personality of Godhead here. He doesn't describe Krishna as Mattaha Paratram Nanyata Raham Sarvasya Prabhavo. He describes Krishna as Akhila Rasamrita Murti. You know what does it mean? Akhila means all. Rasa means the taste. What taste? Taste that is derived in a relationship. Amrita Murti. Krishna is a person. Murti, he has a form. And he is the object of all relationships. He is the relisher of the juice of all relationships. Akhila Rasa Amrita Murti. Isn't it? Rasamrita. Rasa is the essence of a fruit. Isn't it? Fruit is very tasty. And what gives you that taste when you're eating a fruit? It's the juice of the fruit. If all the juice is taken from the fruit, you eat the pulp, you eat the, if all the sugarcane juice is taken out, you eat the remaining pulp of the sugarcane juice, it doesn't give any juice. So it's the juice that makes the fruit very tasty, right? So similarly, Krishna is described as Akhila Rasamrita Murti. He is the object of all nectarian rasas. And rasa in this context is that which is the essence of all relationships. And prominently there are 5 rasas. And there are 7 secondary rasas also, but predominantly there are 5 rasas. What are the rasas? Topmost is Madhurya Rasa. Madhurya Rasa means conjugal relationship between Radha and Krishna. Krishna and all the gopis of Vrindavan. Then next is Vatsalya Rasa. Krishna also relishes motherly love from Mother Yashoda and relishes fatherly affection from Nanda Maharaj. So there is Vatsalya Rasa. Next is Sakhya Rasa. Sakhya Rasa is the relationship of friendship. So Krishna has so many friends like Sridhama, Sudama, Subala and all others. Then we have Dasya Rasa. Means Krishna relishes the service that is done by his servants, in the mood of being servants. So like that there are multiple rasas, Sakhya Rasa, Vatsalya Rasa, Dasya Rasa, then Madhurya Rasa, then Shanta Rasa. So many rasas are there, and Krishna is the object of all rasas. One Krishna, he can relish all these rasas. He can reciprocate with the devotees who love him in different rasas. Krishna can reciprocate with Mother Yashoda like a sun when it is thundering. When it is raining and there is thunder in the sky, there is lightning in the sky, Krishna becomes scared. He runs towards Mother Yashoda and hides between her legs, taking her shelter. He's the supreme shelter of everyone, but he's taking the shelter of his mother. He's relishing motherly affection, rasa. He kept aside his godhood. He kept aside his mattaha parataram nanyach kinchidasti dhananjaya. He kept aside his position as supreme controller, master, proprietor, enjoyer, anything. He kept aside all that. He just is relishing motherly affection of Mother Yashoda by being completely dependent on Mother Yashoda. And when Yashoda Mata was giving Krishna milk in Damodar Leela, she suddenly hears that the Padmagandha milk, which is boiling in the kitchen, is overflowing. So to protect that milk, Mother Yashoda keeps Krishna aside and runs into the kitchen. And Krishna, who is deprived of mother's milk, he cries. He's crying. Here is the supreme Godhead. He's crying for little milk, mother's milk. Because he's a relisher of Vatsalya Rasa. Mother Yashoda is showing some Vatsalya Rasa on Krishna, and Krishna is relishing that. So to relish that, Krishna kept aside his godhood. Krishna kept aside his supremacy. Okay, I am not supreme controller, master, proprietor. I am not Bhoktaram Ignatapasam. I am not Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. I am not Mattaha Partaram Nanyat. I am not Aham Sarvasya Prabhavo Mattaha Sarvam Pravartate. I am not even Sarvasya Chaham Hridhi Sannivishto Iswaraha Sarva Bhutanam Hridhe Shirjana Tishtati. He kept aside all the supremacy aside. Okay, forget my godhood. I am not Godhead here. Okay, I am a darling son of Mother Yashoda. Like that we can describe for all other rasas also. Basically, the point is Krishna is a relisher of all rasas. Rasa basically means the juice, the essence of a relationship. So we have so many relationships, isn't it? Mother, father, brother, sister, wife, husband, son, daughter. So many relationships, friends, uncle, aunt. So in different relationships, we are experiencing different tastes, different mellows, isn't it? Similarly, Krishna also experiences all of them. Even Krishna has uncle, aunt, mother, father, brother, sister. Subhadra is his sister. Okay. So many wives, so many friends, so many lovers, so many servants. He's a relisher of all rasas. So the greatest introduction of Krishna, parichay of Krishna, is not as the supreme almighty God. Yeah, it is, definitely. But something more deeper than that is a relisher of all rasas. Okay. So Krishna is the relisher of all rasas. He is the object of all rasas. He can reciprocate with different devotees who serve him, who love him in different mellows, different rasas. Is it clear so far? So Krishna is the object of all rasas, and we are his minute fragmental parts, isn't it? Krishna said in Bhagavad Gita, Mama evamsho jiva loke jiva bhutah sanatanaha. All of you are my amshas, Krishna says. You are my fragmental parts. Mama eva amsho. If Krishna is a relisher of all rasas in different relationships, as fragmental parts, we also have a tendency to relish rasas. We also have a tendency to keep relationships with everyone. Do you agree with this? So, without relationship, can we survive? Say, if you are given all kinds of facilities, you are given ACs, heaters, big bungalow, car, TV, high-speed internet, and the best quality laptop, Apple laptop, the latest model, iPhone, whatever, 15, 16, 20, 100, that is given to you. And what else is required? Best quality food is given to you. Any type of food. South Indian, idli dosa, North Indian, paratha, right? And Mexican, whatever, pizza, burger, everything is given to you. Italian. All kinds of foods are available for you. but you don't have a single person next to you. Alone, you are put in an island that has all facilities. Whatever you want will manifest, except a person. Persons will not manifest. Things will manifest. Will you be happy? Yes, Ram, will you be happy? Did he understand the question? He's too small to understand. So, we cannot enjoy a situation where we are alienated from everything else. Without having friends or family members or some people who love us and some people whom we love, we cannot experience any enjoyment in life. Do you agree with this? If you agree with this, then a discussion will go ahead. If you don't agree with this, then rest of the class will not make any sense to you. Right? So we cannot be happy in seclusion. How many of you got some COVID virus? Okay, you don't have to raise your hands. Okay. Don't raise, don't worry. So we were quarantined, right? Whether we got or did not get, whether we are suspected, we were quarantined for a couple of weeks, 2 weeks or 3 weeks sometimes. So it is a very excruciatingly painful 2 weeks. Prasadam plate is coming. Once in every day, 3 times, people are giving dabba to us. And they're not looking at our face. Okay. Or they may call us from a distance. Right? You're in quarantine, 2 weeks, you're alone inside. Nobody next to you. So it's very difficult, isn't it? You may have internet. What will you do with internet? How long you will check internet? So we cannot live a life of seclusion forever. Little bit of seclusion is okay. Give me a space. Okay, leave me alone for 5 minutes or for 10 minutes, for 1 hour. I'll sleep. That's fine. But forever, for the rest of eternity, if you are in seclusion, it's very painful, isn't it? So we need relationships. Okay. Relationship with whom? Now here is the next step. So far we understood, right? Krishna is the object of all relationships. He also relishes the rasa in different relationships. As his fragmental parts, we also need relationships. We are dependent on relationships. Our enjoyment is dependent on our camaraderie, our relations and friendships with others, right? You agree till this point. Now, next point is that with whom should we have a relationship? Scriptures teach us that with every single living being, not only a biological family, right? I am connected to brother, sister, mother, father, wife, husband, uncle, aunt, son, daughter. You may have some 10 people in your family. So the connection between a person and the other family members is mainly through body, right? It's the body is the center there. So relationships are restricted to only those 5-10 people in the family. When we are practicing spiritual life, we are not restricting relationships. We are not relinquishing or abandoning relationships. We are actually expanding the scope of our relationships towards everyone. Now, many of us may be meeting for the first time here, but we already have a relationship. I am Krishna's child. You are Krishna's child. Everybody here is a Krishna's child. Thus, what is the relationship between people who are children of the same father? Prabhupada writes that universal brotherhood is established when there is universal fatherhood. Okay. If Krishna is our supreme father, aham bija pradah pitaha. Krishna said, I am the seed-giving father of all existences. That means all of us have a natural spiritual relationship. We are a soul part and parcel of Krishna. I am a soul part and parcel of Krishna. So all of us are souls, parts and parcels of Krishna. We all belong to the same family. We are Vasudaika Kutumbam. Every living being, whether under this roof or outside this roof, every single living being is a fragmental part of Krishna. Therefore, there is a default spiritual relationship amongst all living beings. Do you agree with this? Therefore, we should aspire to have loving relationships with everyone. Does it make sense? It makes sense. It should. Because Bhagavatam says this. Let me tell you one more story. I only spoke concepts or principles or truths till now. Let me speak a story. Parikshit Maharaj, he went to forest to hunt and he became very thirsty and hungry. And he went to Shamik Rishi's hermitage and he asked for some water. And Shamik Rishi did not give him water. Why? He was meditating on the Supreme Lord. And Parikshit Maharaj became offended. He took a dead snake and kept it around Shamik Rishi. And Shamik Rishi's son Shringi came to know about it. And he cursed Parikshit. Whoever is that person, whoever is that king or emperor who has insulted my father in this way, let him die in 7 days by a snake bite. So Parikshit Maharaj came to know about this curse. You know what he did? He immediately retired from his kingdom. He gave his kingdom to Janamejaya and he went on the bank of Ganges, Ganga, and so many sages, without any WhatsApp notification, without any Instagram update, without any invitation, all the universal celebrities, so many sages, Brahmarshi, Rajarshi, Devarshi, Sanghaihi, Brahmarshis, Rajarshis, Devarshis, so many Siddhas, so many people have assembled there. Next to Parikshit Maharaj. Because Parikshit Maharaj has taken a decision. I will not rule, I will not eat, I will not drink, I will not do anything. I will sit here and hear Harikatha. Gayatha Vishnu Gatha. Oh sages, thank you very much for coming here. You speak the glories of Lord Vishnu. You speak to me the pastimes of Lord Vishnu. I will sit and hear. And after 1 week, what's going to happen? Parikshit will be bitten by a snake. And after that, where will he go? Yeah, Krishna is sure. He will go to Krishna only. But Parikshit is not sure where he will go. He may take birth again also. You know what Parikshit said at this moment? Punascha bhuyad bhagavatyanante ratihi prasangascha tadashrayeshu mahatsu yamyam upayami srishtim maitriyastu sarvatra namo dvijebhyah. Punascha bhuyad bhagavatyanante. Punascha bhuyad means if I have to take birth again in this material world, I need 3 things. Parikshit wanted 3 things. You know what are the 3 things? Number 1, Bhagavatyanante ratihi. I want rati, means love. Towards whom? Bhagavati. Towards the Supreme Lord. So if I have to take birth again in this world, I should have love for Krishna. First desire. Second desire, prasangascha tadashrayeshu. I want the association of his pure devotees who have taken his shelter. Third, mahatsuyam yam upayami srishtim maitriyastu sarvatra namodvijebhyah. Maitriyastu sarvatra. I want maitri, loving relationships with everybody. Sarvatra, everyone. You got it? So Parikshit is saying that if I have to take birth in this world, that means if I am not liberated, no problem. Never mind. If I am not liberated, never mind. If I have to take birth again in this world, no issue. But I just need 3 things. Love for Krishna, association of devotees, and loving relationships with all living beings. There is another shloka in the 4th canto of Bhagavatam. This comes in the Dhruva Maharaj section. The shloka is like this. Titikshavaha karunikaha suhurdaha sarvadehinam ajata shatravaha shantaha sadhavaha sadhu bhushanaha. Titikshavaha, a devotee is tolerant. Karunikaha, a devotee is compassionate. Suhurdaha sarvadehinam. He is a genuine well-wisher of all living beings. Suhurda. Suhurd basically means well-wisher or friend. A devotee is eager to have friendly relationships with all living beings. Suhurdaha sarvadehinam. When you say sarvadehi, it's not just only those people in your family. Sarvadehina means every living being who has a body. Whether it be your own family, or neighbor's family, or Indian family, or American family, or human beings, or animals, or insects, or plants. A devotee wants to have friendly, loving relationships with all living beings. I can quote more shlokas also, more stories also, to prove that a sincere devotee is one who is willing to have loving relationships with all living beings. Is it clear so far? Because Krishna has a loving relationship with all living beings, right? He's Aham Bija Pradah Pitaha. He's the seed-giving father of all existences. So naturally, if he is the seed-giving father of all living beings, he will have loving relationships with all living beings. And if we are his children, and we recognize everyone as children of Krishna, we naturally want to have relationships with all living beings. Is it clear? Okay, I'll tone it down. We are gradually making some points. There is a transition here. So, there is a definition of love of Godhead. You know what is love of God? Love of God means loving God, loving those who love God, the pure devotees, loving those who are trying to love God, the practicing devotees, and loving those whom God loves. Who is that? Every single living being. If you really love God, you love Krishna, you love all the pure devotees of Krishna, you love all the practicing devotees of Krishna, and you love every living being, because every living being is loved by Krishna. This is a complete definition of love of God. So, again, making the same point here, spiritual life doesn't mean that we give up relationships. We go up in relationships. Right? We don't have to give up relationships. We should expand the scope of our relationships and not restrict them only to one little family where we have some bodily connection or biological relationship, to expand the scope towards every single living being with whom we have a natural spiritual relationship. This is spiritual life. Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Gavihastini Shunichaiva Swapakecha Panditaha Samadarshinaha. Whether it is a cow or an elephant or a Brahmana or a Chandala or a dog, a Pandita, a wise person, a devotee, sees all of them on an equal plane. Equal, not in a literal sense. Of course, dog is not equal to elephant. Elephant is not equal to cow. But they're equal in the sense that all of them are children of God. And the Supreme Lord, as Super Soul, stays within the hearts of all of them. In that sense, there is equality. So a devotee is one who sees spiritual equality behind material differences. Materially, there could be 100 differences amongst all of us. But spiritually, all of us are children of God. Spiritually, all of us are amshas of Krishna. Mama eva amsho jiva loke. Krishna said in Bhagavad, Mama eva amshu. Right? We're all children of God. So, spiritual life means to recognize one's spiritual identity and love everyone with that spiritual vision. Love of God means not just loving God, loving those who love God, loving those who are trying to love God, endeavoring to love God, the sadhaka bhaktas, and loving those whom God loves. God loves everyone. That's why devotee doesn't want to hate anyone. The other shloka that I quoted, Titikshavaha karunikaha suhurdaha sarvadehinam. I explained this, suhurdaha sarvadehinam. But after that, one more word is there. Ajata shatravaha shantaha. Ajata shatru. A devotee does not consider anyone as his or her enemy. There may be some people who may consider devotee as enemies, but devotee never considers another living being as enemy. How can my brother be my enemy? How can my sister be my enemy? They see, they're all children of God, right? How can I hate them? That's the conception of a devotee. Duryodhan hated Yudhishthir always, but Yudhishthir never hated Duryodhan. Even though he has punished him, did the needful, but he never hated. Hiranyakashipu always hated Prahlad Maharaj. Since the day he came to know that Prahlad is a Vishnu devotee. But Prahlad never hated Hiranyakashipu. He even prayed for Hiranyakashipu. So this is the nature of a devotee. A devotee is naturally inclined to have loving relationships with every single living being. Okay. We have presented a very lofty subject matter, very high subject matter. My God. Is it practical? Is it practical? Too much, isn't it? Yeah. Let's make it more practical now. So that's why if you come in the middle of the class, you may not be able to understand completely. We need to hear from beginning to end, especially this session. So having said that, how devotees are very eager to have loving relationships with others. We quoted Parikshit's example. We quoted Dhruva Maharaj's section. I can also quote some more. So there is one more devotee named Sudama. You know Sudama, florist? Not the Sudama Brahmana, the poor friend of Krishna. There is another florist named Sudama in Mathura city. So when Krishna was touring Mathura city, the Sudama florist offered a very beautiful garland to Krishna. Okay. So then Krishna became so happy with that garland and said, Sudama, what do you want? And Sudama said, Sopiva vrechalam bhaktim, means I want achala bhakti. My dear Lord, I want only three things from you. One is achala bhakti, unflinching devotional service. Then he also said, Tasmin evakhilatmani. He said that, okay, I'm forgetting the Sanskrit, but no problem. I'll speak in English. He said, I want unflinching, unmotivated bhakti unto you. Secondly, I want loving friendships with all your devotees. Third, I want compassion. I want to be compassionate towards all living beings. Okay. Again, somewhat similar to Parikshit's example. You know, there is one more thing. Jivadaya, Namaruchi, and Vaishnava Seva. Okay. So, Namaruchi is our sadhana. We are chanting Hare Krishna. Vaishnava Seva is associating with devotees. Jivadaya means having compassion towards common people, isn't it? So, our Vaishnava philosophy says that we should be inclined to have loving, cordial relationships with all living beings, not only few family members. Okay. Now, this discussion, you keep it in your mind or note down in one of your pages. Okay, keep it aside. Now I am opening another chapter now. Next chapter. You know, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Atsat Sangatyaga Yai Vaishnava Achar. Right? So now we said so many shlokas that are establishing that we devotees are inclined to have relationships with all living beings. But now we are also saying we should do asat sangatyaga. Stay away from materialistic people. Stay away from asats. Asat means those who are not practicing bhakti. And it is very unfavorable. Anukulyasya sankalpam pratikulyasya varjanam. Rupa Goswami in his little Upadeshamrita, multiple times, he is saying, stay away from bad association. That will dampen your enthusiasm to practice devotional service. So it is an instruction of all our acharyas, and even Krishna himself, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself, that we have to avoid bad association. We should not have close, loving relationships with people who are not practicing bhakti. That's mentioned in different scriptures. Even, you know, Rupa Goswami said in Upadeshamrita, what are the 6 loving exchanges amongst Vaishnavas? Dadati pratigrihnati guhyamakhyati prachati bhunte bhojayate chaiva shadvidham priti lakshanam. So these are the 6 kinds of loving exchanges. Giving gifts, receiving gifts. Very good. And feeding prasadam, taking prasadam from your other devotees. Then sharing your hearts in confidence and hearing them carefully when they are sharing their hearts. These are 6 loving exchanges. So this is one very effective way of cultivating loving Vaishnava friendships and relationships. But Acharyas also comment that These 6 loving exchanges must be done with devotees, and these 6 loving exchanges must be avoided with non-devotees. Again, adding to our point, asatsangatyaga, right? We should not have 6 loving exchanges with those who are not practicing bhakti. Okay. How do you reconcile both? Very simple. When somebody is on a very, very exalted devotional platform, Mahabhagavat platform, such a devotee doesn't discriminate between living beings. Everybody is a child of God. I have affection for that person, right? I should recognize him as a potential pure devotee of Krishna. But when somebody comes to the level of Madhyama, for all practical purposes, the person has to discriminate between people. What are the 4 ways of discrimination? Prema, Maitri, Kripa, Upeksha. Right? A Madhyamadhikari shows prema towards Krishna, love for Krishna. Maitri, friendship with devotees. This Maitri, loving relationships and friendships, is restricted to devotees, Maitri. Kripa, innocent people, ignorant people, you can show your kripa, mercy, kindness, extend a helping hand, try to bring them closer to bhakti. So they are objects of compassion, right? Then upeksha. Upeksha means keep safe distance, respectful distance from people who are not practicing bhakti, from people who are very envious and heinous in their character. Clear? Prema, Maitri, Kripa, Upeksha. So now let's try to make the discussion more focused. By default, a devotee should have inclination to have loving relationships with all living beings. However, for all practical purposes, acknowledging one's existence in this material world, one has to keep oneself in a company of like-minded devotees so that we progress nicely on the path of bhakti, and we by all means try to avoid unfavorable association. Although we acknowledge that they are also children of God, they are also objects of compassion for Krishna, still, considering their current conditioned state, I may not want to closely associate with them, have a loving, close relationship with them. Let me not be very intimate with them, because that spoils my own bhakti. So therefore, we need to have loving relationships with only those people who are practicing bhakti. And we can show some kindness and compassion towards innocent people, but we should avoid envious people. We should avoid people of demoniac character. Right? Is it clear so far? So technique, and when we are avoiding people of demoniac character, we don't hate them. We don't envy them. We don't hold any grudge towards them. We avoid them because they have COVID virus. Okay? Because COVID virus in the sense that, like, you may love a person, say your own brother or your own sister, your own sibling has some contagious disease. You love that person, but you stay away from that person. Because if you go close, you will also get that disease. Doctors tell you, parents tell you, hey, don't go there, don't go there. No, the brother loves the sister so much, he wants to go and hug the sister, but the sister has some infectious disease. Mother will just pull the boy. Oh, no, don't go close. Okay. You wait for 10 days. You wait for 20 days. When the child is cured of the disease, then you can go close. Right? So as long as the envy in the person is existing and that is affecting you in your bhakti, you stay away from that person. Right? Don't hate the person. Hate the sin, not the sinner. Hate the disease, not the diseased person. Fine. So, is it clear? We need to focus on loving relationships with devotees. Now, next question. How and why? Why loving relationships with devotees? What if I just focus on my relationship with Krishna? Why do I need devotees? Okay, we said avoid people who are not practicing bhakti. What if I avoid people who are practicing bhakti also? By doing so, we will fail to please Krishna. Now you see, again, coming back, this garland is so much use for us, not only in receiving Krishna's grace, but also to explain so many concepts. Okay, see this garland. It's so beautiful, right? With multiple color flowers. So there is Shavanti, there is, this is what? Huh? Carnation, I forgot that. Okay. So there is yellow color, there is pink color, there is white, there is green. So when you make a garland in certain pattern of multiple colors, it has certain beauty. Similarly, devotees of different skills, devotees of different talents and backgrounds, tastes, and creative abilities, when they come together to render service to Krishna nicely, then Krishna will get the best quality service. Some devotees are good at painting. See, this is very artistically, so many things are put in the temple to decorate the temple. Some devotees are very good at these artistic things. Some devotees are good at construction. Some devotees are good at PR and then legal documentation and all that. Some devotees are good at worshipping the deities. Some devotees are good at speaking Harikatha. Some devotees are good at playing mridanga and playing kartal, playing harmonium and singing for the Lord so nicely. So in a temple, different services are there and different devotees are doing different services. So all these services are meant for Krishna. Samsiddhir Haritoshanam, only to please Lord Hari, right? So we need devotees of multiple backgrounds and multiple skills to serve Krishna effectively. And if there are multiple instruments in a kacheri, there's some orchestra, when somebody is singing classical song, devotional song, and somebody is playing harmonium, somebody violin, somebody guitar, somebody tabla, somebody ghatam, somebody that mouth instrument is there that they are playing. So all these instruments are there to enhance the experience of the song, right? Similarly, when devotees of multiple backgrounds come together to serve the Lord will get the best quality service. So, if in that orchestra, the singer is singing one tune, one song, and the guitar player is playing a different tune only, and mridanga person is in a different beat only, and the flute person is just doing some other note only. So the audience will become literally confused, isn't it? There should be harmony. There should be harmony. There should be nice cooperation and unity amongst all the people, 6-7 people sitting on the stage to do that musical performance. Similarly, when different devotees of different backgrounds, while serving the Lord, are not united in good friendships and relationships, Krishna will not get the best experience. Krishna is the audience for our performance of devotional service. He's the recipient of our devotional service. When we work with unity, when we work with good friendships and relationships, and do the needful to please Krishna, that will give Krishna a very good experience. But when we are not united, when we don't have loving, healthy relationships, naturally, we cannot please Krishna properly. So therefore, we need to have loving friendships and relationships. If we do so, you know what happens? Krishna will be extremely pleased to give us all kinds of benedictions. Not that we are desirous of benedictions, but point is we want to please Krishna. Let me tell you one story. There's a great king named Prachina Barhi. He had 10 sons. Their names are, together they are called Prachetas. So Prachina Barhi said, my dear sons, you should go to the forest and purify yourself by performing austerities. Why that is required? If you perform austerities, austerity means living with basic facilities, voluntarily accepting some inconveniences upon oneself for a higher purpose. That is austerity. All these princes, they're living in very wonderful palaces. with so many servants and maid servants and soldiers and ministers, assistants, whatever they want, they will get. Then they will get so accustomed to these palace comforts, they can never empathize with their poor citizens. When a small citizen, middle class person comes to the king expressing some problem, king will never understand only what it means to be a middle class person, unless the king has a background of doing some austerities in the forest in the brahmachari stage. So it is a necessity in the Vedic culture that princes are sent to the forest to live with basic facilities and in some hermitage and get their own food, gather fruits and roots here and there, and then somehow manage their life with basic facilities. And also practice devotional service, do some Sravanam and Kirtanam, and then develop a connection with the Lord, develop a relationship with the Lord. So spiritual austerities. So Prachetas went to the forest to perform some austerities to worship Lord Vasudeva. Then Lord Shiva came in front of the Prachetas and said, all 10 of you, young princes, you want to worship Lord Vasudeva? I'll tell you how to worship Vasudeva. It all taught them. Yah param brahmasa sakshat triguna jiva samgitat bhagavantam vasudevam prapannaha sapriyo himi. Whoever worships Lord Vasudeva is very dear to me, and I give such a devotee all kinds of guidance and support and blessings. Shiva said this. And Shiva taught them a song called Rudra Gita. And these 10 young boys, Prachetas, chanted that Rudra Gita prayer taught to them by Lord Shiva for 10,000 years under waters. 10,000 years, 10 people staying together, worshipping the Lord with full unity. After 10,000 years, Lord Vishnu came in front of the Prachetas to give them darshan. He came on the back of Garuda. He was just flying. Okay, Garuda was flying inside water. Have you ever seen a bird fly inside the water? Right, birds fly in the sky, but Garuda went deep in the water also along with the Lord Vishnu. And Lord Vishnu came in front of these boys. No, they're not boys. They're 10,000-year-old boys. So he said that I'm very pleased. Varam vrinidhvam bhadram vo yuyam me nrupanandana sauhardena prathak dharma tushtoham sauhrudenava. Varam vrinidhvam bhadram vo. I'm going to give you some benedictions. Bhadram vo. Let there be auspiciousness unto you, Nrupanandana, O princess, O sons of great king. Why will you give us benedictions? The reason is, Sauhardena prathak dharma. A prathak dharma, you have performed devotional service with Sauhardena, with loving relationships, with loving friendships. Tushtoham sauhrudenava. And I'm very satisfied with your loving friendships. Just like in the Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam shloka, Krishna used the word bhakti twice. In this shloka, Krishna used the word sauhurdenava 2 times. Means friendships. Sauhrida means to have friendly relationships. 2 times used in the small shloka. He said, I am very satisfied with your loving, friendly relationships. What is the lesson here? When we have friendly, loving relationships with other devotees in our service to Krishna, Krishna will be pleased. Krishna will be extremely pleased. You want to please Krishna? What is the purpose of practicing Bhakti Yoga? To please Krishna. Samsiddhir haritoshanam is the purpose of practicing bhakti, isn't it? Samsiddhir haritoshanam. That's the only purpose of practicing bhakti. But if that is the purpose of our practicing bhakti, and parallelly if you are fighting with devotees, quarreling with devotees, grudging, envying them, and misunderstanding them, blaming them, how will Krishna be pleased? So Krishna is pleased when we serve him while maintaining friendly, cordial, loving, intimate relationships with other devotees. And in those relationships only, we really experience the nourishment of bhakti. In all our ups and downs in spiritual life, who will give us support? Sometimes, although we know all the philosophy, intellectually we understand it. Theoretically we understand it. Yes, it appeals to my intelligence. It's perfectly logical, but when emotions are too much, all the logic goes for a toss. All the philosophical understanding cannot fully satisfy the heart when we are affected too much emotionally. What satisfies the heart is a hug or a loving statement made by another devotee, right? When a devotee shows love, care, empathy, sympathy, kindness, and some kind gesture, that will impress our heart more than pages of philosophical statements. Yes, philosophy has its role to play. Not that we have to be sentimental or emotional always. But the point is, we have to serve Krishna not only with an understanding, philosophical understanding that Krishna is the Supreme Almighty. We should also cultivate loving emotions, feelings, sentiments for Krishna, isn't it? Krishna said this. I am not saying this. Krishna said this in Bhagavad Gita. Buddha bhava samanvitaha. Buddha means intelligence. Bhava means emotion. Aham sarvasya prabhavo mattah sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvitaha. He could have stopped buddha samanvitaha. Why he introduced bhava? Feelings are important. Love is important. Relationships are important. Emotions are important. Right? So he also said, Man mana bhavamad bhakto. Mana means think of me. Don't just understand my tattva with your intelligence. Don't just stop there. Move ahead. Have some feelings for me. Have some emotions for me. Have some love for me. The juice of relationship is experienced by a relisher only, not a logical, dry philosopher. Right? Philosophy has its limit to satisfy your heart. It satisfies the intellect. Okay, so we need to cultivate loving emotions with Krishna. How can we cultivate loving emotions with Krishna without having loving emotions for Krishna's devotees? So, bhakti should not make our hearts dry. We should be thick-skinned in bhakti, in spiritual life, but we should not be hard-hearted. You understand the difference between these two? Being thick-skinned is different from being hard-hearted. So, hard-hearted, by studying so much philosophy, we should not become hard-hearted. Philosophy is not meant to kill our emotions. Philosophy is meant to regulate our emotions so that we don't become so emotional and thus become dysfunctional. Sometimes we become too emotional and sentimental, we become dysfunctional. Philosophy has to protect us from being like that. But that does not mean we become totally emotionless. So we should have emotions for Krishna. So Krishna said, Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mamanusmarayudhyacha mayyarpita mano buddhir. Mayyarpita mano buddhir. He did not just say buddhi, he also said mana, mind, heart. You offer your heart to me, not just intelligence only. So with intelligence, you understand Krishna Tattva, but with heart, you love Krishna. When you love Krishna, you should love Krishna's devotees also. When you're aspiring to cultivate an intimate relationship with Krishna, we should also aspire to cultivate intimate, loving relationships with Krishna's devotees. Then only our bhakti is complete. Let me tell you another story. 8:44. I still have 16 minutes. In the first canto of Bhagavatam, Mother Kunti offers prayers to Krishna. That was just after Kurukshetra war. Kurukshetra war was completed. Pandavas emerged victorious and they attained the throne of Hastinapur. And Krishna said, okay, my dear Pandavas, I need to go back to Dwaraka. I have been with you for a long time. I came to be with you before Kurukshetra war. Now Kurukshetra war is over. Now you are kings. Let me go to Dwaraka. Then Krishna was about to mount his chariot. Then suddenly Mother Uttara came running towards Krishna. Krishna, Krishna, please protect me. Krishna, Krishna, Mahabaho, Bhaktanam, Abhayankara. Right? So she offered prayers to Krishna and she came to seek Krishna's protection. What happened? Ashwathama released a Brahmastra to kill the baby, the embryo within the womb of Mother Uttara. And Uttara took shelter of Krishna. And what did Krishna do? Krishna entered within the heart of Mother Uttara and counteracted the heat of Brahmastra by his own power and saved Parikshit. And Kunti Maharani became so overwhelmed with gratitude. Krishna, you have protected us from a series of dangers. So many dangers. She enumerated all the dangers. Vishan Mahagneha Purushada Darshanat Asat Sabhaya Vanavasa Kritshrataha Mridhe Mridheneka Maharathastrato Draunyastrataschasmahare Bhirakshita. Krishna, you protected us from that poisonous cake. Bhima likes to eat so much food. And once this Kauravas, Duryodhana and party took Bhima and made some nice cakes and put some poison into those cakes. And Bhima ate all of them happily. And he went to sleep. And this Kauravas thought Bhima died and threw him into Ganges river. And Krishna protected Bhima. Bhima emerged from this river with greater power. So Vishan, Mahagnehe, this Kauravas, they kept Pandavas and Kunti Maharani in a house made of lac and set fire to that house. Krishna protected from that fire also. Vishan Mahagnehe Purushada Darshanat. Purushada means man-eating demons. So when the Pandavas were living in the forest, so many demons like Hidimbasur, Bakasur attacked the Pandavas. Somehow, by Krishna's empowerment, Bhima killed them. Kunti Maharani is remembering all of that. Yes, Krishna, you protected us from poison, fire, man-eating demons. Vishan Mahagneha Purushada Darshanat Asat Sabhaya Vanavasa Kritshrataha. You protected us from Asat Sabha. What is that Asat Sabha? In that Sabha, in that assembly where Pandavas were defeated in a cheating gambling match by Duryodhan, and Duryodhan ordered Dushasan, bring that Draupadi, catch her hair and then drag her into this assembly. Such a heinous mentality, such a cruel mentality, such a disgusting activity in public. And Dushasan was dragging chaste Draupadi, pure devotee Draupadi into the assembly hall. But Krishna protected her. When Dushasan attempted to disrobe her, Krishna came in the form of unlimited saree and protected Mother Draupadi. Vishan Mahagneha Purushada Darshana Satsabhaya Vanavasa Kritsrataha. And so many other difficulties during Vanavas. Once Durvasa Muni came with thousands of disciples and said, I'm hungry, feed me. I'll take bath and come back here. Krishna protected. Krishna came to Draupadi and said, bring me that pot, Akshay Patra. Krishna, I don't have anything. Already I'm so embarrassed that I'm unable to feed Durvasa, and you are coming and saying that I'm hungry. What will I feed you? So Draupadi became anxious. Krishna said, no, there must be something there. Bring that Akshay Patra. I'll find. I'll press Ctrl F. I'll do Google search. Right? So then Krishna saw a small piece of grain and little vegetable stuck to one corner of the pot, and he ate it. And Durvasa Muni was belching there. And all his 10,000 disciples were rolling on the bank of the river as if they have eaten so much up to here, up to here. So Krishna protected in this way. Like that, Krishna protected Kunti and Pandavas from series of calamities like that. Now Kunti's point is, Krishna, if you leave, what will happen to my sons? Who will protect them? Please don't leave. Stay here only. And later, Kunti Maharani felt that I am praying to Krishna to protect my sons, my husband's family. And now Krishna is going to Dwaraka, right? In Dwaraka, Vrishnis are there. Vrishnis are my parents' family, right? So Kunti Maharani came from Vrishnis family to Kuru's family. Jai Shri Radha Shyam Sundar Bhagwan ki jai. So Kunti Maharani is now concerned that I am overly concerned about my husband's family. What about my parents' family? Hare Krishna. Jai. What about my parents' family? How will they survive if Krishna stays here only? Krishna should go back to Dwaraka. The next moment, Mother Kunti felt, why am I thinking too much about my husband's family and parents' family? Why am I getting caught up in these relationships with my parents and with my husband's family? It's too much. She said, Atha Vishvesha Vishvatman Vishwamurte Swakeshubhi Sneha Pashamimam Chindi Dridham Pandushu Vrishnishu. Right? Atha Vishvesha Vishvatman, O Master of Universe. Vishwatman, O Soul of Universe. Vishwamurte, O Form of the Universe. Swakeshumi Sneha Pasham Imam Chindi. I am bound with a rope of affection to my family members. Who are they? Pandushu and Vrishnishu. I am bound to Pandavas with a relationship as their mother. They are my sons. And I am also bound to Vrishnis. They are my parental family. Chindi, please cut this strong bondage of affection that I have. I don't want this affection for Pandavas or Vrishnis. Please cut this affection. And later, you know what she said? Oh, you want me to cut your relationships with the Pandavas? You want me to cut the relationships with Vrishnis? My God. Then what do you want? Whose relationship you want? You want to become an impersonalist or what? Right? So, Kunti Maharani said that Tvayi menanya vishaya matir madhupate sakrit ratim udvahata madha gange vaugham udanvati. Tvayi me ananya vishaya. Oh my dear Krishna, let my mind not think of anything else. Ananya vishaya. Matir madhupate sakrit. Let my mati just go towards you only. Ratim udvahata dadha gangevo gham udanvati. Let me love you. Let my mind flow towards you. Let me not be so big. Let me not be so caught up in these relationships with parents, family, husbands, family, sons, relatives, in-laws, this and that. No, cut all these relationships. I just want a relationship with you only. Right? So, Ratim udvahata dadha gangevo gham udanvati. Let my mind flow towards you like Ganga flows towards the ocean. Ganga flows towards the ocean. On the way, she encounters so many obstacles. There may be hills, there may be mountains, there may be forests, there may be huge trees. But Ganga somehow manages to reach the ocean, right? Similarly, let my mind reach towards you, Krishna. This is Kunti Maharani's request. Why Kunti is saying like this? What does it mean? To reach Krishna, you have to give up relationship with your sons, with your family members, with your parents, with your sisters, with your brothers, with your in-laws, with your wife, with your husband. We have to give up all these relationships to reach Krishna. That's not the meaning of Kunti Mata. Please understand. With all respects to her prayer, let's go deep. Let's dig deep into her prayer. In line with the commentary given by Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakur in Sarartha Darshini. You know what he said? Although Kunti is praying to Krishna, Sneha Pasha Mimam Chindi Dridham Pandushu Vrishnishu. Please cut my intimate relationships with Pandavas and Vrishnis. I just want to be with you. I want to have a relationship with you alone. You know what did she mean? She meant that, my dear Lord, please cut the material aspect of my relationship with Pandavas and Vrishnis, not the spiritual aspect. Mother Kunti had two kinds of relationships with Pandavas and Vrishnis. One is the skin relation, second is the soul relation. Skin relation means she's connected to them through the body. There's a blood relation, there's a skin relation, there's a bodily relation. They are my family members. These are my sons, this is my husband, this is my in-laws, this is my mother, this is my father, these are brother, sister. So there is a relationship based on the body, bodily relation. But there's another relationship that she had, that is the soul relation, right? Soul relation. What is that? They are devotees of Krishna. I am also devotee of Krishna. Thus, we both have a spiritual relationship. Krishna, please preserve my relationship with Pandavas and Vrishnis, with you in the center. Let me have a spiritual relationship with them, not a material relationship. Let me not love them because they are my family members. Let me love them because they are your devotees. In short, the lesson here is Kunti Maharani is teaching us how to spiritualize material relationships. We have family members. We should love our family members. Brother, sister, wife, husband, mother, father, uncle, aunt, son, daughter. Yes, we have to love all of them. Not because they are connected to me through my body, but because they are children of Krishna. When you are living in a family and serving the other family members, you should think that you are doing Vaishnava Seva. This is Vaishnava Seva, one of the 5 potent limbs of pure devotional service. Getting right? So, if we are Krishna conscious, if we live life based on the teachings of Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, then we spiritualize every relationship that we have. We don't love people based on the body, based on how they are useful to me for my bodily comforts. We love people based on how much they love Krishna. We love people because we want to do Vaishnava Seva. They are Vaishnavas, let me serve them. Let me love them. Let me maintain nice, cordial, loving, friendly relationship with all of them. That's the mood. So we basically have to bring Krishna in the center of all relationships. So this flower is there again. Apparently it's matter, right? So flower is matter, but when you offer it to Krishna, it becomes spiritual, right? So anything material need not remain material. Matter can be made into spirit by offering to Krishna. By bringing Krishna in the center of our relationships, we can spiritualize our relationships. So the relationship between mother and son can be made spiritual if both of them can worship Krishna. The relationship between Uttama and Suruchi is material, bodily relation. She's identifying myself. Yes, I am the mother of Uttama. He'll be the future king. You know this story, right? Dhruva's story. But Suniti and Dhruva have a different mindset, especially Suniti. When Dhruva came crying, you know the story, I'm not repeating it. So Suruchi insulted Dhruva. Suruchi did not allow Dhruva to sit on father's lap or father's throne. He became extremely disappointed. He came running to mother Suniti while crying. Then Suniti said, my dear boy, I am just one mother who can give you the affection of one mother. But Krishna can shower you affection, which is a combined affection of millions of mothers' affection put together. So she is a great devotee of Krishna, and she is also inspiring her son to become a devotee of Krishna. So their relationship is with Krishna in the center. Mother Kunti and all her 5 sons, they're related to each other with Krishna in the center. Okay. So we can spiritualize our relationships, material relationships. A relationship can begin with a business transaction or material body or something else or something else. Oh, we are from Andhra. You are also from Andhra. I'm meeting so many Andhra devotees here. Right? Initially, I thought, did I come to America or Andhra? So many Telugu devotees around. Okay. So a connection may be made initially because you may be coming from the same geographical location. Or a connection can be made initially because you are from the same college. When I went to Silicon Valley a couple of weeks back, one devotee came and said that I'm also from ISC. Oh, which batch you are? He's 20 years older than me. Right? So he passed out in somewhere in 1990s. Okay. 1980s, something like that. Oh, Prabhu, you are one generation behind me. But we are from the same college, right? There's a connection. You know, when I went to Cincinnati, one 80-year-old devotee came. 80 or 87, something like that. I forgot, 83, 87, like that. He said, I'm also from ISC. I have some relationship with ISC. I'm not so much into ISKCON and all, but I have heard in introduction, your introduction, that you are from ISC. Just to listen what you will say, I came here. Prabhu, you are 5 decades older than me and you are coming here to listen to me because ISC is a connection. But when he came with that connection, college bonding, he heard pure Harikatha. Then he got some appreciation for Krishna. Getting right? So initially, relationship could begin with some material considerations. It could be body, it could be same college or same state or same country, or same. Sometimes kids will sit together. See, your dress and my dress are the same color, right? So we'll sit together. But they sit together to take darshan of Krishna, to hear Harikatha. So the beginning of a relationship could be some material consideration, but eventually we can make it spiritual by keeping Krishna in the center. How? We'll discuss tomorrow. Suspense, right? How to intensify our relationship. 9:01, I'm 1 minute late. So we'll discuss more about how to cultivate much deeper, loving, friendly relationships amongst Vaishnavas, more on a practical side. How do we practically inculcate loving friendships and relationships? We'll discuss more. Today is more about the tattva part, the theory part, although we discussed a couple of practical tips, but tomorrow will be more practical, day-to-day basis, how can we apply. But to summarize, we discussed how Krishna is the object of all relationships. He wants to have loving relationships with everybody. And as devotees, we also should be inclined to have loving relationships with everyone. But acknowledging the impure consciousness of some conditioned souls, we may want to stay away and we focus on loving relationships with our own devotees. Those are practicing bhakti. And what is the importance of having loving relationships with other devotees? That also we have seen by quoting several examples. Okay. And finally, we concluded by saying that we should have we should spiritualize our material relationships eventually by bringing Krishna in the center. How? We'll discuss tomorrow. Thank you very much. Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Right. Any questions, comments should we take? It's 9 o'clock. 1 or 2 questions. Yes, any question? Yes, Matasi. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for wonderful session. You explained about Yudhishthir Maharaj having a lovely affection in the heart for Duryodhana, even though he took a revenge later. We all face a lot of these kind of things where atrocities are there or disfavorable conditions. So we cannot take a revenge like him, but how can we forgive from heart, like not just by saying that I forgive you, or what is the best way to deal with those kind of situations?
Tolerance. As much as possible, we should tolerate and excuse and forgive the minor mistakes done by others or the inconveniences that they cause to us as much as possible. We have two options always: tolerate or terminate. Right? So you tolerate their minor mistakes or terminate the relationship. So depending on the context, time, place, circumstances. However, tolerance and humility, although they're important, they're Vaishnava qualities. In the name of tolerance and humility, we need not and we should not allow ourselves to get exploited by others unduly. If the extent of abuse goes beyond certain boundaries, we need to take an action. Arjuna said, "My dear Krishna, I will tolerate the offenses done by Duryodhan, Dushasan, Karna, Shakuni. I'll go and beg, let them rule the kingdom." Krishna said, "Kill them." Arjuna said, "No, I'll not kill them. How can I kill my own relatives?" Right? Then, if I kill them, how will I enjoy without them? Then Krishna said, "Tolerate." You understand? Krishna taught tolerance in Bhagavad Gita. But he said, tolerate separation from your relatives. Don't tolerate their injustice. Got this point? So when somebody's behavior or misbehavior is crossing certain boundaries of tolerance, you should take an appropriate action to teach them a right lesson. Sometimes you may have to give a verbal feedback, sometimes physical feedback or whatever. According to time, place, circumstance and the seriousness of the abuse, we need to do the needful. But we don't have to allow ourselves to get exploited or abused beyond certain extent. Small, minor mistakes, we can forgive, we can forget, we can tolerate. But something is major, yes, take appropriate action. Does it make sense? Thank you. Any other question? Yes, Prabhu.
Prabhu, at the start of the class, you mentioned that just left on our own, we can't have any enjoyment. We need companionship. The thought which comes to me is, if there is a person who's fully absorbed in Krishna, pure devotee, does he really need anyone else? Because he's so absorbed in Krishna, and the pleasure that he gets from that thinking of Krishna, serving Krishna, or is it because we are conditioned and at different stages of purification? That's the reason why we need to, loving relation with devotees. They'll inspire us, encourage, whatever.
All the Vrajavasis are completely absorbed in Krishna. Are they not together? We'll discuss more tomorrow, but to give a small glimpse at this moment, although devotee can personally relish Krishna consciousness, Krishna smaranam, nama smarana within his heart or her heart, still devotees need companionship, very much need companionship, because the relish of Krishna consciousness is enhanced when you discuss Harikatha with other devotees. You know what is the greatest symptom of a devotee? Macchitta madgata prana bodhayantaha parasparam kathayantascha mam nityam tushyanti charamanti cha. When we discuss Harikatha with other devotees, that will nourish our hearts. Okay. So bhakti is best relished in the association of other devotees, and this is the aspiration of several pure devotees who have done pure devotional service and attained the darshan of the Lord. In front of the Lord, they are saying, "My dear Lord, please give me association of devotees." Can't they be alone? Only Jnanis and Mayavadis want to be alone, because there is a lot of argumentation that's happening between them. But devotees always want to be together. Devotees are like ornaments of Bhakti Devi. Just like you put Radharani is there, you put multiple bangles, bracelets, and necklaces, and ornaments and earrings. She looks very nice. Even otherwise, also she is brilliant. But Bhagavatam says that devotees are like ornaments for Bhakti Devi. So multiple ornaments, so many ornaments. So we'll discuss more about it. It's required. It's a necessity that we need devotee association. And without that, we won't be able to relish Krishna consciousness. Although circumstantially, if devotee is alone, he may do alone bhakti or nirjana bhajan, he may do, like a bhajananandi. But bhakti is best relished in the association of like-minded devotees. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. We'll conclude here. Hare Krishna. Tomorrow we'll meet.
Please take your seats. So let's thank His Grace Gauranga Darsan Prabhu with a loud Haribol, Haribol, Haribol. It was a very comprehensive setting of the scene for this wonderful seminar of building relationships. So we are very, very grateful for Prabhuji to be with us. Thank you very much. So tomorrow our session again will start sharp at 7:30 p.m. Please arrive sharply so that we can begin the session and enjoy the nectar. Thank you very much. We are going to have prasadam on the other side. Okay. Also, we're very fortunate in that mode of building relationships to celebrate a wonderful devotee whose birthday was 2 days back, Amritananda Prabhu. Hari Hari. Amritananda Prabhu. Hare Krishna to you. Hare Krishna to you. Hare Krishna to dear Amritananda Prabhu. Hare Krishna to you. May you never take birth again. May you never take birth again. May you never take birth again and go back to God.
I'm 60 years, but I feel like 10 years.